Connection. You're not live.
Good
Morning.
morning. So, we're back. I think that's been a 3 week
weeks.
break.
Yep,
Stuart was
yep.
away, and then we have been off on holiday.
Some holiday.
Yeah, with the kiddos, and I think we've been
Busy.
full
Full
life during holiday time, and it's been lovely just catching up with the kids and having our eldest home from uni and stuff has been really lovely. So this morning, good morning Pam, good morning Margaret, Glynis, Kath, awesome to have you here live. This morning we decided that we were going to speak about self-development, and the reason being,
Developing ourselves.
why? But why? What have we been up to?
We've just concluded a 4-day UPW virtual with Tony Robbins, which has been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome.
So we had intended to go away and immerse ourselves for 4 days in Tony Robbins land, which was supposed to be in Birmingham this year, but that was obviously cancelled due to Corona. So it was shifted into an online format, which was very different from being there live, because I would say it required more commitment.
More dedication, organisation.
Yeah, because we were doing it from home, 13 hours a day. So
13 days a day.
13 days a day. But self-development is something that Stuart and I are both hugely passionate about. And have kind of worked our careers around this, and we support other people in doing this. And I think it's a journey that once you start, you get pretty hooked. It's quite an exciting journey. But one of my main key takeaways I want for everyone today is it's okay doing all the learning. The learning is great. The learning's exciting. But it's the action.
Mm-hmm.
It's the action that's important. It's the creating a plan. It is implementing what you've learned so that it becomes second nature, because we all know, for example, with food, if you eat more food than you do exercise wise, you're going to put on weight. Okay, we all know that, but it doesn't stop us from doing it. Yeah. Or what's another example of things we all know?
Well, if you don't exercise, if you don't breathe properly, you get exhausted, you get tired, you get moody, you get grumpy, you get disillusioned, poor relationships, lack of self-belief, self-motivation. You can go on and on and on. If you don't, take action on the things that you need in order to give you the best life you deserve.
Absolutely. So if anyone's got any questions, fire away in the comments.
Yeah, at any time.
When did you start your self-development journey, and what does self-development look like for you?
When did I self-develop? Probably the day I was born, I think. It kind of happened to me, developing and moving on, but really where I was probably in my mid-20s, I think. Uncertain where I was going and all that kind of stuff. Landed a career opportunity which was phenomenal, which became the rest of my life. But it was when I actually met one of the greatest books ever, which changed my life, was Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
What was it called again, sorry?
How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, which took him 10 years to research and write. Phenomenal read. It's not a reading book, it's a read a book and then a dip in and out of book forever. So you don't just read it and that's it. And this is one of the things that I think Susie is saying, is that it's fine learning something, but if you don't apply it, if you don't implement it, if you don't use it, then you're probably doing yourself a disservice, the people around you a disservice, and so forth. So development for me is just incrementally, being better, feeling you're doing something that's improving you, whether it's your health, whether it's your physique, whether it's your mental state, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your finances, whatever it is. And it's just a constant learning all the time. small progresses. It doesn't have to be huge. Some can be huge. You know, impacting an experience can actually hit you, and it can actually affect you. You know, negatively, positively. It can put you in a really good mental state. It can put you in a really devastating mental state, as we have discovered with some of the work that we do with people and everything. But it's just about, you know, learning is all about just becoming a little bit better at things we do. You know,
and I think it's not like one thing that I want to communicate that I think is really important in the nature of the work that I do is it's not saying that there's something wrong with you.
Correct.
It's not saying like that, like the life you have right now you're not happy with. It's so far from that. But I think a lot of people, when they start their self-development journey, think, oh gosh, like I'm like really not great at this, and I'm not, you know,
Very good.
you know,
good point. Very much so.
You know, that like I think a lot of people look at it as like they're not good enough, when actually it's so far from that. If you are a person who is making that decision to commit to improving yourself, improving your life in any way, then that's freaking epic. Like, that's so powerful.
Yep.
As opposed to thinking, oh, well, I'm broken, so I need to fix myself. So self-development is not saying there's something wrong with you or wrong with your life. Life is this continual journey of learning and change and growing, and you're not the same person now as you were yesterday, so you need to look at ways to support yourself. Margaret's saying it was her husband's favourite book, his Bible. In fact, he gave it to loads of people, and I think you've given it to loads of people, haven't you?
It is a Bible, and a Bible being something you refer to on a regular basis to remind you when you get caught up in life, and get caught up in all the pressures that are put upon us in the life that we lead. So yeah, absolutely spot on. Well done. It is definitely a Bible, and it's been my Bible for the last 37 years, or 27 years. So
yeah, and I think these books will like grow and change, and you'll return to them. So for self-development, what kind of tools do you use to develop yourself? And then you can ask me.
Develop some. Well, I set some goals. Every day I can ask myself what are some non-negotiable things that I've got to achieve, which kind of stretch me, make me, or motivate me, encourage me to kind of do those sort of things. Self-learning, self-development is reading something every day. You know, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I put it's feeding your brain with information, positive stuff. But being positive is fine. But you can't always be positive. And I learned a couple of weeks ago from a guy that I follow that, there's a difference between being positive and being optimistic. I think optimism allows you to have a down moment, to realise that it's real, it's reality, whereas positivity is about banging through it, I'll think it, I'll do it, and I'll do it, but you're not feeling great totally inside. So for me, it's being optimistic about what lays ahead. It's about trying to develop the relationships with the people that are around me. That gives me the opportunity to learn from, because Susie's a phenomenal person, as you all know, and the learning from that. It's the learning from people I mix and am around. It's the people I, am around with in my life that I suppose are a source of information for me. So I'm always kind of learning from that. But every day is a new day. Every day is an opportunity. Every day is a chance for us all to kind of really embrace, something new, something different, something enhancing and stuff like that. So it's just a constant. It's ongoing. It's not just an arrival anywhere. It's very much a journey.
Yeah, and I think, like, as you say, learning from, like, the relationships around you, learning from other people, learning from nature. And Stuart, actually, yesterday, it was quite a cheesy moment because we are both kind of into, like, self-development in a big way.
And cheese.
But we went out for a walk and Stuart had picked up this acorn and opened it up, and inside there was 2 conkers, and he's saying to me, like, do these look identical to you? Do these look exactly the same, these conkers? And I was like, well, no, not really. They don't look the same. And then what you were concluding from that is you can have like two people or two things can be in exactly the same environment, experiencing the exact same circumstances, yet they're so different. And it's the same about humans. It's the same about people. You could be, think of your brothers, your sisters, or anybody else, a colleague. You're in the same environment, yet your outlook, your perspective can be so different, or your experience of life can be so different, yet you have had access to exactly the same resources.
Yep.
So it's how do you utilize the resources you've got? So you'd mentioned obviously you like books and reading. For me, I listen to a huge amount of audios, and I utilize my time. So I listen to audio. I don't dread to think, actually I should calculate how many books I've listened to this year so far, and how many podcasts, but I listen to them when I'm picking my horse's poo up in the field. I listen to them when I'm mucking out. I listen to them when I'm doing my cleaning, or even when I'm in the shower. Like, I utilize the time that I have. So it's absolute tosh to say I don't have time to invest in myself. As Stuart said, that could be 5 minutes flicking into a book and just seeing what comes up for you. It could be 5 minutes sitting in silence, 5 minutes journaling. And I think self-development is recognizing, okay, what area do I want to develop in?
That's true. Yeah.
Like, is it your relationships? Is it your health? Is it
your physical being?
Yeah, is it work related? Is it financial? Hobbies, passion, like creativity. Where is it you want to develop? Let us know in the comments how you commit to your own self-development. What do you do to improve yourself in any area? That could be going to the gym. It could be, reading, hanging out with the right people. Like, how do you commit to your own self-development? Let us know in the comments, because your comment could inspire somebody else to recognize, oh, hey, actually, I could do that. Like, I could fit that into my day-to-day life. Yep. Or, is it investing in a PT? Is it,
What's that? A PT?
A personal trainer.
A personal trainer.
See, Stuart obviously doesn't do that.
I don't have one of them.
I do. But that's because I need accountability in that area. So morning Tina, morning Zoe. So morning Sarah, Sandra, where do you feel that you need that accountability to support you in up leveling, to raise the standard? Yesterday I did a live and shared a quote about how our thoughts create our reality, and are the thoughts we're having supporting the life we wish to create. And that could just be your self-development, just thinking, what am I thinking right now? Okay, is that supporting me? No. Okay, change it. So maybe even let us know in the comments, what areas do you want to develop yourself more? So for me, at the moment, my focus is on relationships. I want to develop deeper relationships with people. I want to strengthen that connection with my community. I want to connect with people, and morning Wendy, do all those things to show up for myself in those areas. What area are you looking to improve?
Well, for me, it's always been people. People for me has been everything in life. So it's, for me, it's about becoming a better me to give me to other people. Right now, there's strange times going on, but go back to what Susie was saying earlier. It's about, it's not just what's happening to you that actually affects you. It's the way that we actually approach, or the way we perceive what's actually happening, and how is it that two people can view something differently. And I think we talked about this before, about a shoe salesman seeing things differently, just based on their own background, their own views, their own education and experiences and so forth. And I think that when there are so many people around that we can support and that we can help and that we can encourage and we can just be there for. One of the guys over the weekend was talking about every morning he goes out, does a walk around his cul-de-sac, and he goes into 2 or 3 houses where there's old folks that people, they never see anybody, and he just gives them 5 minutes, which is a huge thing for them, which then injects him with a feeling and a sense of enthusiasm and excitement that he's actually affecting other people, and then that then affects everybody else as well. So, but for me, physical aspect, I've come to realise over the last kind of couple of years in particular that the physiology aspects make me feel better about me. Now, other people don't see that necessarily, but I actually feel it. And when you're actually, in relationships and you're talking to other people, you kind of wonder how people react or think a certain way. The reason is we just don't know what's behind them. We just don't know what story they've got. We project on other people sometimes what we think, and then when we don't see that, we then start to have that kind of view, and we need to be a little bit more open in receiving and accepting that everybody's different, and we've all got a wonderful story. We've all got great opportunity. We've all, dealt with things and so forth, and you just never know. The next conversation you have with somebody, how it's going to trigger them. What it's going to do for them, how, you affect them, and affecting them, they then may affect somebody else. There was a fantastic book I read many, many years ago. I don't want to ramble on, but
I'm going to pull you back. I'm going to pull you back. Say what you're going to say. I'm going to pull you back to self-development because I want to keep it succinct.
Yeah. But essentially, it was a case of that, there's a guy who was actually at a road stop going into the country, and he met loads of people, but never knew anybody. But one person made a difference by asking him questions about the country that he's in, what's the beautiful spots, what's great about the culture, what's great about the country and all that. And this welled him up. And then after that, he started behaving differently to everybody else that actually was coming into the country. So he made the country sound even greater because one person asked him questions.
Okay.
Learning.
Yeah.
New.
So, self-development is... Exactly. It's about self as well. So it's about you. What do you want to do? What areas do you want to level up in? Like, is it fitness or is it... And I suggest picking one area and really focusing on that area. Is it your mindset? Is it your spiritual connection? Is it your physiology, as Stuart mentioned? What area do you want to improve? So nobody's telling us in the comments what they do for self-development. And I know because you are part of this space and you're watching live that you do commit to self-development. So tell us in the comments, what do you do? What do you read? What do you listen to? Where do you go? Who do you follow? Who do you connect with? What do you do for you? And I think this is hugely, hugely important. And I would also say, other people in your household, other friends, family members, etc., may not be on the same path as you. Okay, they may not be into self-development. They might be quite happy remaining where they are, and that is absolutely fine. So, do it for you. Yeah, make that commitment to yourself. And what will happen is, like Stuart, that story Stuart was telling there, there's a ripple effect that begins to filter out. I need to get back to one of my clients that's just finished her coaching because one of her feedback was the impact on her children. That is so incredible that she made this investment in herself. And at times that was hard for her because she was taking time away from her children. But actually, the impact is her kids sleep better, she sleeps better, they have more family time, they're more connected. And that is the beauty of it. So don't think I'm saying just subscribe to your monthly membership. Yay! Woo! Amazing. And that's it, because it's these rituals and routines. Erin's saying, I don't know where to start. I'm always adapting. And this is it. Yeah, so we're always adapting. We're always changing. Good morning, John. Well, I can't see all these comments on Instagram here. Somebody else said something. I've just started down the Druid path. Absolutely beautiful. So connecting spiritually. What area is it? Erin's saying the list is huge. Okay. So pick one.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, if you don't know where to start, stop. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop and breathe for a minute. Take some nice big breaths. Just get some oxygen into your body, into your brain. Then list down the things that this list that you have that is overwhelmingly huge. Because once we write things down, we commit to them, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then ask yourself a question. If I don't do one of these things today, what will it mean?
Mm-hmm.
What impact will it have? And the thing that you must do, give it a number 1, and then the next most important. Then you'll create a list
Mm-hmm.
and an order and a structure of things just to focus on, because we know as well that the old saying, focus goes, energy flows, and all that. Just make the decision to go after that one thing, as Susie's saying, decide, and then what that'll do is that'll create momentum.
Yeah.
And run and through other sort of stuff. But if you don't know where to start, stop, breathe,
Mm-hmm.
write down, look at, and make some decisions. And you know, it is as simple as that, really. It's just that, you know, in my 30-year career of recruitment and interviewing people, is the most uncomfortable part for people is silence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you don't say anything, people will jump in and say something because they're uncomfortable with silence. But the silence is the best opportunity for you to kind of get your brain thinking, and then make the decisions, write them down, and decide.
Yeah.
And commit to it.
What
give the
action
resolve.
could you take today that's going to support
Absolutely.
you? And
yeah, definitely.
it can be a tiny thing. And as Stuart says, maybe it's taking that quiet time to sit down and write that list. And what you might find, and this is something that I work a lot with clients, what you might find, and I want everyone to bear in mind, is what we think we should be doing and what we actually want to do or need can be two very different things.
You are my self-development, Susie.
Ah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so Margaret's saying, you're my self-development, Susie. I make sure I'm around positive people, look at developing
Perfect.
my spiritual side, always be kind, as you don't know what other people are going through. Excellent. That's
Definitely.
exactly what Stuart was saying. And as Margaret's saying, they're great advice. On Instagram, mindset, Tina's committing to mindset, following a lot of inspiring people. It's helping her a lot. Walking in the holistic tree on Instagram, saying walking in the woods. Find the can, went out yesterday and her son hugged a tree and it was so innocent and beautiful.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Wendy's saying she's gathering lots of information, totally confusing myself and not doing anything. And this is the thing.
Can I say something on that, if you don't mind? Gathering is fine. If you were to go in the woods and gather heaps of acorns, you can only gather a certain amount before it starts spilling over, the analogy of that. So what to do is decide the ones you want to pick up and spend time on them.
Yeah.
Just because you don't focus on something, it doesn't mean it's not important. It is important, but it's just not as important that day for you to actually focus on. So yes, gather information, it's absolutely fine, but it's about decision making. When you can decide on something, your heart starts to burst and flow with energy because you're seeing the love you're giving to something. If it's spread all over the place, there's lots of bits and pieces of it. So really, lots of information, great. Decide on the things that really tickle your fancy, for pardon the expression. But you'll know when you read something if it makes your heart flutter. If it does, take action on that. Leave the rest at the moment. Don't forget it, but just focus on that. And then that will again, as I say, create momentum. It will create your energy, your enthusiasm, and before you know it, you'll see different things in other areas that you didn't see before. You had all this energy focused on it.
And what were you saying yesterday? We were speaking about something about non-negotiables. I love you too. What were we saying about non-negotiables?
Yes.
So for that might support Wendy.
Decide each day. You might want to do certain things in any sort of given day, but there are certain things that you have to do in a day to get to live and exist. Simple, straightforward. You have to wake up in the morning if you're going to attack the day. Non-negotiable. You have to dress in the morning to interact with other people or feel good or just to feel covered up. Non-negotiable. Having breakfast, fueling your body, putting food in. Non-negotiables. You can then add in other things that are going to impact you. For me, is doing 250 sit-ups every day is non-negotiable to me. So if I even set other goals and I don't achieve them that particular day, I'm not going to go, oh my goodness, I didn't actually get that done. I'm going to know that I've done my non-negotiables So I've done the things that I know are important to me, and then if I can go and do other new different types of things, it gives me a focus for that. Hugely important, because when you achieve anything, you feel great.
Yeah, so for me, that's like journaling and meditation in the morning. Like if I don't make that time in the morning, it doesn't really matter how in theory successful the rest of my day is. If I haven't had that time for myself, that isn't great. And yesterday it was an example of that. It was my first day back at work. I had a lot that I could really be diving into, but I made that commitment to myself that I was wanting to finish. It was my daughter's first day back at school after holidays. I wanted to finish work at 3:15 to be there for her. To me, that is what success feels like. Like I can give it my all and share throughout the day, and I just wanted to be there for her in the evening to have that family time. Now, in theory, I could have banged on in my business and done all these other things, but that non-negotiable of family time would have been lost. And it doesn't matter what I achieved later on, it wouldn't have felt as empowering as it would have if I'm not non-negotiable. So your non-negotiable could just be going to bed at a decent time. Thank you, Holistic Tree.
Can I just say as well that on the we can only do things for ourselves in a way. We can't make other people do things. When you realise that if you try and improve you to be a better you, to give a better you to other people, to inspire other people, the opposite can actually happen as well if you think about it. And I think we all get affected by this, is that if somebody says something to you or behaves a certain way to you that isn't, healthy for you, or you don't feel good about it, we need to start thinking differently about that. We need to start thinking, it's not me. This person's in pain. This person's got something going on that makes them say this, or makes them feel that, or makes them behave in that sort of way. So not getting dragged down by what other people are feeling or saying, because they've got issues. If we work on us and fuel us up and give us energy, and we actually fill our minds full of really important, positive, optimistic information and feed and stuff, we can give that to other people. But don't let somebody else pull you down. They're needing. Just view as they're in pain, they're experiencing something that they're trying to kind of work through as well themselves. So I think that's really important, because we get so affected by what other people say sometimes, a lot. So
absolutely. But when you're in this more powerful space yourself,
absolutely,
you're better equipped to cope with it.
Praise yourself, give yourselves high fives, be grateful. Find out about gratitude. What are you grateful for? Simple things in life can be the most important things in life that you're grateful for. And then go and live the best life you can each day. Each day is presented to you. It's what you do with it and how you approach it.
Awesome. So we hope that that's left you feeling inspired and ready to commit to your self-development in whatever way that looks like for you. Keep in touch with us. Let us know what areas you're committing to, what kind of tools you're using. Share with us anything that has inspired you. Holistic Tree saying, I find it hard being an empath sometimes, but I'm learning with self-work, healthier boundaries. Boundaries are huge.
Massive.
Wendy's saying, so glad I made time to listen to you guys this morning. Thank you. Tina says, definitely love that. Thanks. Bless you guys. As an empath, boundaries for anyone are hugely important. In fact, I was thinking about doing a post about that. I'll maybe do it tomorrow. The power of no and the power of hell yeah. Pick your no's and your yeses. Wisely, but amazing. So thank you so much, guys, for showing up. I'll save this to Instagram stories and Facebook. I will share it to the page, so you can dip in and out. But get in touch. We'll be back next week. Any themes, as you know, we love you guys to let us know what you want us to speak about, what support you feel you need. Shout out, and we will chat and share next week.
Decide, commit, resolve, achieve. It's all there for you.
Love and Tina, I am ready. The power of now. Lol.
Excellent.
Woo!
Love it.
Go Tina.
Superb.
Ace. So have an epic day, guys. Love you loads, and
See you next week.
If
If not before.
Bye.
Bye.